What's up, guys? Welcome to a new video. In today's video, we are going to be looking at game week 31 and the wildcard. Everyone is wildcarding. Not everyone, nearly everyone is wildcarding in this week. So if you are new to to this channel, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. I'm trying to hit 1,000 subscribers, and your help will help me get there. So hit that subscribe button, and in the comments, let me know what your draft team is like, and I'll give you feedback as well on your draft teams if you want it. So in the comments, put down your draft teams for your current wildcard. Once again, hit the subscribe button if you are new. So game week 30, this is how much I got. I got 66 points. A green arrow, I went from 260k in overall rank to 206. Lingard delivered. Kane, captain, he delivered. Rafinha also delivered as well, but the rest of my defense really didn't do much. Watkins, unfortunately, on the bench. I wish I had him, but yeah, this was my team. I think it was pretty good. I bought in Mason Mount for Bale, and Mason Mount came on off the bench and scored, so that was good. That was in view with Chelsea's upcoming fixtures. And to look at the fixtures, let's start off. I will go to the fixture tracker itself. So this fixture tracker is given by TED Talks FPL. I'll put his Twitter in the description as well. You guys can check it out. This is basically right now game week 31 to 38 ordered by difficulty, and the teams in the border are playing at home. So Arsenal, Liverpool, Sheffield United, West Ham, Wolves, Burnley, Chelsea, right on top there. This game week, I think, can be, how do we put it? It can be ordered in terms of two batches in your wildcard. From game week 31 to 34 could be one, and 35 to 38. 35 will most likely, we're looking at a potential double game week as well. So that has to be considered. 36 could be a potential blank game week. We still don't know much information about that, but that could happen because of the FA Cup semifinals. So there is a potential for that. So now, so teams to target. Arsenal, Liverpool, obviously we want to target. There are some teams in third. So like I told you guys, the fixture switch. So 31 to 34, Chelsea, and where is Leicester? Leicester, here we go. Leicester 31 to 35. They have really good fixtures, but the last three are pretty bad. Leicester can easily turn to Leeds, where you see them improve. So Leeds' fixture from 34 to 38 improves compared to the first upcoming three. So you could potentially do an Iheanacho to Bamford move if you're planning in your wildcard, where Iheanacho after 35 would probably go, and then Bamford comes in for this beautiful round of fixtures over here. That's a potential that you can do. Then who is the other team that switches like that? West Ham, I think. West Ham. So Leicester, Chelsea, and Everton a bit off, but like let's say from 34 to 38, they switch very well with Wolves, where Wolves' fixtures right now is from 31 to 35. Wolves, they have really good fixtures, but their last three aren't that great, and West Ham's last three are pretty good. So you could switch your Wolves defenders or Wolves midfielders like Neto or Cody to maybe a Sufa, a Dawson, Cresswell, maybe. The defenders you could get from Neto, you can go to Lingard. That's an option for 36 to 38. So those are some teams that pair well in terms of the fixture switch. So that's why the two blocks, I would say. So Leeds and West Ham's fixtures improve at the latter end of the season compared to right now. It's a bit hard. Chelsea's and Leicester's turns is right now really good, but tends to turn in the latter end of the season, and it becomes a bit more harder. So those are the four teams I think that we will look at in terms of switching around. But in terms of mainstays throughout the whole season, I think Arsenal are pretty good, although I don't really trust Arsenal players in terms of defense or attack. I don't know really what Arsenal is going to turn up. I think Liverpool, a triple up of Liverpool is a very high possibility. And then after that, I think we're just going to look at in terms of the fixture swing. So we'll look from 31 to 34, and then we'll have a look at like the last few fixtures. So right now, this team over here, let's say I've activated my wildcard. I've basically bought in all the players who are currently the most transferred in over here, because that gives you an idea of like where the community is headed. And now, if I was to look at fixtures, Foster as a 4 million keeper who could possibly play, and even if he doesn't play, just put him on the bench, it's fine. He's played the last 2 games, which is a decent, and for a 4 million keeper, it's the lowest price you can get, so you might as well take it. He does blank in game week 33, but he has a possibility to double up somewhere on 35, 36 apparently. That could be an option, depending on how the FA Cup game goes. But for 4 million set and forget on the bench even, is not a bad idea. Leno is the most, let's switch the goalkeepers. Leno is the next keeper. It's between either Leno or Mendy. Even Mendy is a really good option. Leno has decent set of upcoming fixtures. So he has Sheffield, Fulham, Everton may be a bit hard, but Newcastle, West Brom, Crystal Palace, Brighton. So 2 tough games in that run of fixtures. With Chelsea in 36, who does Foster have? Foster has Fulham in 36, so you could rotate for that one game with Leno, and the rest of the games you could have Leno playing. He is one option in terms of goal. The other option is Mendy. However, like I told you guys, Mendy's fixtures do turn. So from 35 to 38, I probably don't know if I'll want to have Mendy. So if you're getting a keeper, you ideally want to get someone for a longer run. Leno is that option. However, even against West Ham, I think Chelsea can keep a clean sheet. I'm just going to consider the last game as a blip because they haven't been the team to have conceded so many under Tuchel. Obviously, I'm waiting for the Champions League game. At the time of recording, Chelsea haven't played the Champions League game yet. That might give me a better indication of how their defense is. But right now, I think I would favor Mendy over Leno just because of the fact that I can't really trust Arsenal's defense. I don't know what Arsenal is going to turn up as well. But compared to Chelsea's defense, I know they are decently very solid most of the time. So those are the goalkeepers that I'll be looking at. Those are the main 3. If you wanted, you could get Ederson. That's an option. Alisson is another option. But as we'll be looking, I think there are Liverpool assets in other areas of the pitch that you might want to target. And those Liverpool assets, let's go to, actually, before going to Liverpool assets, let me go to the defenders. We start off with the Liverpool asset, which is Trent Alexander-Arnold. So he is the highest owned player. If you don't have enough money for Trent, I think Phillips is a really good option as well. Nathaniel Phillips. He's played the last few games as well. So for 4 million set and forget defender, that's a possibility. I mean, if you don't want Shaw or if you don't have Trent, you can remove Trent and you can put Phillips in. That's a very huge possibility. So he will go in there. But I think Trent over the last few weeks has been really good in terms of assist potential. So I would probably try and get Trent if you can afford Trent. But this is where it gets a bit, you can only have 3 Liverpool players. And as you can see in my midfield here, I have already Salah and Jota. And then you have Phillips here. So I'm not really sure who I want. We will have to see how it goes depending on my budget, depending on the players I have currently. So that's all very important to consider as well. Yes, now Manchester City, they don't have the best set of fixtures, but even then, they are a team that could possibly keep a clean sheet. against all of these teams. The question over Diaz is not about the clean sheet potential. It's more about the starting potential. How many games does he see really start? I think out of City's team, he's probably the most likely, him and Ederson are the most likely to start most of the games compared to everyone else who could potentially get rotated. That's why I have put him in here. And if you're playing a wildcard, that means your bench is going to be a bit more stronger this with this wildcard. So even if Diaz doesn't start, I'm sure you will have bench players who will come on there and be able to deliver as well. Because like if you're looking at it right now, all 5 of these players, now I have money to spare because I took up Trent and Bottom Phillips, but all 5 of these players can start. So even if Diaz doesn't start, Cody, Rudiger, Shaw, Phillips, any one of them can come in and give me points. So that's not too much of a problem. So I don't mind having Diaz in just for that. But again, it depends on how much money you have in your team. Rudiger and Cody, like I told you guys, Wolves and Chelsea have a good set of upcoming fixtures. We had a look. Crystal Palace, Brighton, West Ham, unsure, depends on Antonio's fitness as well. But Fulham, those 4 are relatively good, I would say. After that, it gets a bit hard, so I might want to rotate from here. Wolves have a bit more of a longer one in terms of they will be they'll face Fulham, Sheffield United, Burnley, West Brom, and Brighton. 5 games that I think they could probably get clean sheet, or even Cody could get attack potential. If not for Cody, I would be looking at, where's that? Size is another good player that you could have potentially instead of Cody. You could even double up on Size and Cody. That's another potential. Rudiger, we had a look at. Shaw, United's defense, I don't think is going to be very good. Because look at the running. So I probably won't get Shaw, but a lot of people want to by the looks of it, mainly for that assist potential. United do have the opportunity. Like in the big games, United have kept clean sheets. So they are the team that probably could go out there and get a 0-0 against the likes of Tottenham, Liverpool, Leicester. It's a possibility for them to get a 0-0, and right now they have a 4-point cushion over Leicester as well, so they can afford to draw a couple games and still make that top 4. That's why I think Shaw could be a good option, but I think there are better options in terms of guaranteed clean sheets over Shaw. That's just my feeling. Although Shaw, you do get the attack threat in terms of assist potential. That's the defense. Those are the players I would look at. The 5 here, and obviously I would look at Trent, Size. Who else? That's it, I guess. Trent's Holding. Do you really? I mean, if you have Leno, do you really want to go? Because David Luiz is apparently injured. I don't know how many people would want to double up on Arsenal defense. I don't really know if it's the best option. He's 4.2 though for price. That means you could probably put him in there if you're struggling to get some of the heavy hitters in midfield or forward and you need the money. You could probably put Holding in. His run is decent, and if David Luiz is injured, Holding will play. So that's an option to look at. So let's move into midfielders. So let's start with the Liverpool assets. Salah, Diego Jota. We ideally want both. Can we afford both? I don't really know. Most of y'all will be having Bruno Fernandes as well in your team. I also have Bruno Fernandes in my team. Do I want to keep him continuously? Maybe, because like the downside to not having Bruno Fernandes, and if it does something, your rank could plummet a lot. Even though if it does something, and if you own him, you could get small rises, but not owning him is a huge. There is like huge red arrow possibility. That's why, just because of the effective ownership that Bruno Fernandes has. So keeping that in mind, and with you wanting like Vardy or Kane in front, heavy hitting, expensive forwards as well. Salah, do you really need Salah? You could potentially go Jota, Trent, Phillips as well as an option. Diego Jota is almost half the price of Salah, and he's delivering the same amount. The thing to consider is Salah could be going for Golden Boot. I think he's currently leading Golden Boot as well. So that could help in terms of him scoring more goals. He did score against Real Madrid, even though Liverpool lost to Real Madrid. He did score in that game. He's someone to look at. Again, their fixtures till the end of the season is really good. If you get either one of them, you're going to keep them till the end of the season. Obviously, this is really good fixtures, and I'm expecting goals from both of them. The question is Salah's price tag compared to your balance of your team. That's the issue that I need to think about. I'm not sure how that's going to work. We'll see how it goes. So my team could also vary a lot. Lingard. Now, Jesse Lingard recently has been performing a lot over the last few weeks. Obviously, he didn't play against Man United, but he's been scoring a goal or an assist since he basically joined West Ham. Apart from just that Fulham game, he's brought in returns. So Lingard is giving in. He is banging in goals, banging in assists. The next set of run until 35 isn't great. Obviously, you have the Newcastle and Burnley game in the middle of those, the three red ones. So even Everton, to be honest, you could potentially start him. So you're just looking at Chelsea and Leicester as the tough games. If you want to bench Lingard during that time, it's completely possible, I think, to just put Lingard in your squad, bench him for those two games, but start him for the rest. And if he delivers, he will deliver. The one thing to consider is Antonio went off injured for West Ham, and once Antonio went off injured, Lingard didn't really get a shot on goal after he went. So we don't know what Antonio's presence is going to do with regards to Lingard as well. So that's something to look at. So something to consider. But for the price and for the amount of points he's bringing in, I think it's worth it. Son, Heung-min Son. Spurs are a tough question, but they do have a double game week coming up, and that's the pure reason that I have Heung-min Son in here, and I think that'll be the pure reason why many of y'all will also have Heung-min Son in here, just because of that double game week that's coming up in game week 32. After that, they have a blank, and after the blank, they immediately have Sheffield United and Leeds and Wolves as well. So you could potentially keep Son for these last three games as well. That's another option as well. But then it depends on how he performs in these upcoming few games. We'll have to see how it goes. Also depends on his squad. But I think a lot of people will have Son and Kane for this upcoming double. That's one possibility. Neto, like I told you guys in Cody as well, really good fixtures for the next 5 at least. So it's worth a punt to have him in the team. In terms of fixtures, he has a really good upcoming set of fixtures. Apart from this, the players that are not in here, Gundogan, De Bruyne. I think the problem with those two are rotation risk more than their points delivery. I know they can both deliver points, especially the upcoming game is against Leeds. Both Gundogan and De Bruyne did play the Champions League game, but Gundogan got rested in the league game previously, so he could potentially play against Leeds as well. But then the scoreline is 2-1. Pep has said, is he going to rotate this week? He has mentioned that. Is he going to rotate a lot? Because the Dortmund game is still very important with Dortmund having an away goal as well. So we'll have to see how that goes. If you're not wildcarding this week and you want to take a 1 week punt, Gundogan I think is a worth it one week punt if you're not wildcarding. And if you're wildcarding, maybe ahead of 32 or after 32. It's an option. Mason Mount, good fixtures upcoming. As you saw in my points, I do have Mason Mount in my team, although it tends to turn a bit bad after that in terms of attack potential. So he might not be in my team for too long, but I might have him for a few weeks at least. Who else? Madison is another option. He came on for 18 minutes we will have to see how he does in the next couple games before I think I can decide. So I'll give him West Ham, West Brom. We'll see how he does before, and then you could potentially bring him in for these 3 games here. That's another option. Obviously, the fixture switch, which I told you guys, Rafinha is another player to consider when the fixture turns over here in game week 34. He is a good option to probably keep if you have him. If you want, you can sell him and you can buy him back. I think you could sell him and buy him back for this run here. Tottenham aren't really defensively solid, so I don't mind having Rafinha from 34 onwards as well. It's a good option to get back. And yeah, Fernandes, I've already told you, it's just that fear of effective ownership. If he gets points, you do get small rises in terms of your rank. But if you don't have him and he gets points, you see a lot of red arrows. So I think it's more of the fear of not owning Fernandes rather than owning Fernandes. That's the problem. If you're playing for your mini leagues and if you think not owning Fernandes, and you can maybe get more points than what he's willing to offer by getting some other player, it's a possibility. But Fernandes has had like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. He's had 11 double-digit hauls. That's a lot. So if you have him, I think you keep him. I think he's the type of player that you just keep him regardless. If you have him, I probably won't get rid. And then obviously your front 3, Vardy, Iheanacho. You can have both or you can have one. If you can't afford Vardy, Iheanacho is a really good option. Iheanacho has been doing really well as well in the last few games. As you can see, he's got a goal. He's got 5 goals in the last, 5 games? Yeah. 5 goals in the, 5 goals in the last 5 games. He is a really good option. Apart from the City game, because it's a tough game, I expect that. But the upcoming run for his price, it looks really good. The problem with this is now that Madison is back, we need to see where Iheanacho is going to play. He did get substituted, I think, in the last game for Madison. But I think people are thinking that Jose Perez might make way for Madison instead, and Iheanacho and Vardy still play. So I think for a 5.8 player, if he doesn't play, okay, sometimes it's fine because it's all right to have him on the bench. But is Vardy, the only thing I think Vardy has over Iheanacho is just pens. I have a feeling that both of them, apart from that, on without pens, they can both get very similar tallies. So it's up to you whether you want to double on both or just have one. And Kane, I think Kane is, because of his fixtures, I think he's the type of player I probably have throughout the season as well. He's got the pens. He's the main man for Spurs. Probably the only way Spurs are going to get goals as well, by the looks of it. So I don't mind holding Kane, also because of his ownership. 48% teams own him still. So yeah, that's my wildcard. That's the players I'll be looking at. Let's look at in terms of, let's go all players. Let's look at the effective ownership as well, because that does play a part sometimes. So as you can see, Martinez, Pope, and McCarthy, I think this will drop in terms of the goalkeepers. In the terms of defenders, I expect Trent to increase, Shaw could increase. These guys will see a drop over this coming week and the next couple of weeks. Fernandes and Son might stay the same. Gundogan also probably might stay the same. Salah is seeing an increase probably. De Bruyne probably increase. Lingard probably as well. Mount, Rafinha, these guys could see an increase. Bamford, Watkins will see a drop. Vardy could rise. Antonio's injured. Calvert-Lewin, not sure because of the upcoming double against Aston Villa. Some people might want to get him in. Someone I didn't look at is Arsenal in terms of attacking, either Aubameyang or, like I said, Emil Smith-Rowe, Saka. Those are possibilities as well to look at, because Arsenal do have really good fixtures. Going back to the fixture run, Arsenal have a really good set of run of fixtures. The question is which Arsenal turns up And do you really trust them? I don't really know. That's something to think of. But if I was to target, I would still target Arsenal team, Arsenal players, and Liverpool for the rest of the season. West Ham, I might keep Lingard throughout the season. I don't mind, and just bench him for those tough games. Wolves, and I think it was Leicester, I told you. Yeah, Wolves and Leicester, I'll probably have them for the first half of this season. And then you see this red bit, the last 3 games. That's where you could potentially bring in the likes of Leeds, the likes of West Ham. Those are the 2 teams that, so Wolves and Leicester can go hand in hand with, sorry, Wolves and Leicester can switch to Leeds and West Ham. Chelsea, also very similar. Chelsea can also either switch to Leeds and West Ham. That's another possibility. Any other teams that improve? There aren't any other teams that improve over the season. Teams to target in terms of goals, if you want to target Sheffield United, Newcastle, Burnley. Recently, they haven't been defensively that great. So those are some of the teams I would target in terms of if you want to get goals. Yeah, that's it. That's my wildcard video. Those are the players that I'll look at. Put your players options as well in the comments down below. Let me know who you are looking for as well. And yeah, I will see you guys later. And if this video did help you, hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, and Game Week 31 upcoming. I might do a captaincy video separately. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, that's my thoughts on the wildcard. Hit the subscribe button. We're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers, and I'll see you guys later. Thank you.